Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Garlet's High Performance Garage channel. Hope everybody's Christmas was awesome. I hope it went off without a hitch and everything went smooth. Mine was, all right. Just value the time off more than anything, so got the time off. Today it's nice and warm out. It's Saturday after Christmas. It is like 50 couple degrees out there. Might even hit a big 60 today. You never know. Anyway, one of the other videos there, I told you I had the square body for sale on Marketplace. The guy that said he was coming Monday to get it, he came today. He came this morning. Had a friend with him, and we all sat out here and shot the shit. I topped off all the fluids in it, made sure everything was in working order, because I'm not sure where he's driving to, someplace in West Virginia, but it should more than make him there. I mean, the truck's pretty reliable. I've ran it around here, around this area, for at least 2 months straight, in the fucking snow and everything else, which I didn't want to do, but I had to because of the accident I had. And, just like anything else, you just don't have nothing else to drive. So I had to, put it on the, what they call the fucking roster so I could use it. And it was not being used for the intended purpose that I wanted to use it for. So it's one of those things where I made it to joyride around in, run errands in, maybe haul a couple light things or two, because it was far from perfect, but it was I made it very roadworthy, with the exception of the emergency brake cable not being there. It was non-existent. I cut it to fuck off there because it was bad anyway. A good mechanic could go buy one and put that motherfucker on. I didn't want to put it on. I was going to put one on it, and I was like, man, fuck this. I'm not going to put it on there. The hell with it. It should have one, though. The fellow that bought it, it's going to be a retirement present for his daddy. His old man's retiring, and I guess he's going to need something to occupy himself through retirement, because we all know from experiencing, if you've had a grandparent retire, you know how the trouble is before I get into saying anything like that, everybody falls into a rut. Everybody, we're all creatures of habit. Of habit, not havoc. Havoc too, yes. We're all creatures of habit. We get into a groove, we stay there, and we end up being there for a long period of time. If it depends on your work ethic, how reliable you are, and how much you like keeping your bills up to date. And, depending on how many mouths you have to feed, will determine, your reliability to a company that you're working for, in order for you to go to it every day and, stuff like that. There's a point in your life where you have to go work. I was brought up in a working household. I had a job since I was 15. I had jobs on these farms before then, helping farmers put hay in, pitch shit, just help in general. Like my grandfather's farm, I went up there and put hay in for him. I put hay in on the farm across from me. It was one thing at the time. I enjoyed it. I was a young man, a young teenager. I enjoyed throwing them hay bales around. It was fun. But it's like anything else, when you get older, it sucks. But anyway, and the thing is with people, when they retire, they don't have that, they fall out of the habit because they have to, because they retire. They fall out of the habit of going to work every day. Some will actually go out and get a part-time job, and it's not, the trouble is, digging the dirt out of my fucking fingernail, damn it, I hate that. Anyway, when you retire, you're used to working all that time. You try to fall out of that groove, and it takes a while. And a lot of people will retire, and they'll be kind of sad, and they'll just sit around, they'll deteriorate. When you're at that age of retirement, because, the government has to fuck us all over with Social Security and all that stuff. But that's another fucking point. But we all want, like when our parents retire, we all want them to thrive and survive as long as possible. And we need them to do that. And we need to find them things to keep themselves occupied. Now, my dad down here, he's got all kinds of shit he's doing all the time. He retired. He was he was forced into retirement. I don't think he was ever going to retire. I think he was going to work forever. And he just didn't want to retire. So he helped another guy out by taking retirement. They kind of forced him into it. And now I think he's kind of fell into a different groove. He was working part-time, butchering animals at a place here in town. And now he's not really into that anymore. He would rather stay home here and fuck with shit. He said he really doesn't want to go back to work. So I look for him to quit that part-time job. But a lot of times the reason they take that part-time job isn't because they miss work. It's because they can't afford to live on, a pension and Social Security. Because Social Security is a fucking joke unless you're a goddamn immigrant dragging, across the fucking your ass and your family across the border. Then, this fucking shitty administration that's in here until, January, they will, welcome these do-nothing motherfuckers in, give them all kinds of money and housing and food, and give them shit every month on a goddamn card. And, that's bullshit. And we got veterans, retired veterans that are out in the street. We got, homeless Americans. We even have homeless Americans that came across the border legally and got their green cards and stuff the right way. And they're out on the fucking street, because of this bullshit from the border. But anyhow, a lot of times you just can't afford to live off of retirement. So they go get other jobs. And, the trouble is if you have a loved one that retires and you don't try to keep them busy, they ultimately deteriorate and they die before, their time. So, but anyway, he got the truck, I guess, to keep his dad busy. So when he, I don't know, I guess he's retired already. Or he's going to retire. Don't know the full story exactly. But anyhow, he's going to retire, and he wants his dad to have something to occupy his time. And, they love the square body Chevys. I mean, who doesn't? There's a lot of people fucking hate them cocksuckers. I tell you, I have had several throughout my adult life. I have had several square body Chevy trucks. They are nice trucks. They're good trucks. They're tough. Compared to the shit that they're rolling off the assembly line today from the 90s to present. Those old square body Chevys, they just keep going and going, and the steel in the frames of those trucks is just so much thicker, and plus they're C-channel instead of this boxed in bullshit that they're putting on all these trucks now. And the reason they're doing that, they're boxing it in, is because they want the trucks to fail. They want them to fail. They want them to rot up. They want to give you a reason to come back and trade it in on something new. That's the plan. See, back eons ago, the plan was to put out a reliable automobile that was tough and you could service it yourself. Because a lot of people lived out on farms back in the day. You know, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. They lived on farms and they relied on planting and growing their own food. And they just didn't go to the supermarket like we all do now. They barely went there. They kind of picked up in the 50s. A lot more people like in the urban areas would go and to the store and get all their food and shit. But I know my grandparents, they grew all their shit and canned it in mason jars and passed that knowledge on to my parents. They did it when I was a kid. I had to help because that was something you had to help plant. You had to help you had to help weed the garden, which, you know, a lot of times I got out of because I'm a kid. I don't want to go weed that fucking shit. So they did it. And, you know, it's a learning experience. You know, if you can teach your kids how to garden, do it. I know the government's trying to crack down. The state governments in some states are cracking down on that shit because, you know, they don't want you living. They want you to roll over and fucking die eating that fucking garbage canola oil filled fucking food that we have now. Because, you know, canola oil is in every fucking thing, whether you want it there or not. It's there. For some fucking reason, it's there, whether you like it or not, and they don't care. And, you know, well, that's what happens when the cigarette corporations buy all the snack food corporations, and they know how to addict human beings to cigarettes, so they use that same principle and chemicals with their friends at Roundup to make you crave these fucking foods, these poisons, which trick your brain into thinking that you're having a craving for it. So, you know, you're like a fucking cow that wandered into the apple orchard and couldn't get back out, and they sat there and ate themselves to death, you know, eating all the apples that they could eat, and they just rolled over and fucking died from all the high sugar intake. You know, that's the plan. You know, they all think we're cattle. So, hey, give them some snacks and a television and a fucking cell phone and a little bit of porn. There, we got them. They played right into our hands, didn't they? Yeah. That's what happens. So anyhow, yes, the old 84 square body is gone. I mean, I can't sit here and say that I'm ecstatic that it's gone. Kind of sad that it's gone. But then kind of, you know, I'm glad at the same time because, you know, some of that stuff on the square bodies is just fucking retarded. Like the braking system on them. The junction, the what do I want to call it? The junction where all the lines come in off the master cylinder. You get two lines that come into the junction down there, the pressure regulator, and then, you know, it breaks off into 4 fucking lines, one to each brake. And instead of leaving it next to the master cylinder where it's supposed to be, nah, we're going to put it down in the frame so you can't get to it easily. So that's what they did with that. They put that in there. Then, like your brake hoses, come off those lines, go into your calipers up front. Well, instead of it just having a bracket mounted on the outside of the frame, like in the wheel well, for your brake hose to clip to, nah, let's clip them through the frame. Let's clip them through the frame so you can't get a fucking thing back there to loosen them cocksuckers up, especially after the engine's in. Yeah, those brake hoses, I was ready to burn that truck by the time I got them brake hoses on that cocksucker. Oh my fucking Christ. Oh, it was bad. So bad. When the engine's out of them, it's a piece of cake. You can get down in the engine bay right next to it. They're a breeze to put in. The junction box for the brakes, same deal. It's a breeze to put in. Now, I mean, that's something right there. You gotta crack them lines and pump them and all that shit. And there's a fucking reset button in the one side for the set that goes to the back. You know, shit like that. The brake hose in the back is simple because there's one and it tees off into just hard lines. That was the easiest part. People were saying, oh, drum brakes are hard. No, they're very easy. If you know what the fuck you're doing and you do one side at a time, so you can use the other side as a reference. I know it's, running back and forth looking, but what I did is I took a picture of it with my phone before I started. The one side, actually, everything fell apart in it because it was all rotted the fuck up, so I had to put all new hardware and stuff in the one side anyway. But the passenger side, for some reason, was still really good. I don't know if they could have replaced them parts a long time ago or not. And I not known about it. But anyway, that stuff was pretty good shape on the other side, but I put the wheel cylinders in it, new brake lines, brake hose, run brake line, clear the fucking junction up front. New brake hoses on the front calipers, new hard lines into the fucking hoses. Well, the one side has new line in. The passenger side line was really good, so I left well enough alone because I don't know why, but up front there, those lines, those hard lines were very, very nice. I could take a wire brush and rub across them and they'd shine. They was all shiny and shit. It was just very nice. Very nice. But I mean, as far as that goes and having that shit, and then, in 1984, they brought out the lockup converter in those trucks with that shitty turbo 350C transmission, which is a rotten, dirty fucking whore of a transmission. It shifts okay, but then you got that really high fucking drive gear. Because it'll shift. Bang, bang. You're in drive. You're in high gear. And then all of a sudden it'll die way down. RPMs go way down. They were looking for gas mileage. That's why. So the RPMs go way down and you're in town. And it's like you're driving a straight stick and you're going up a steep hill and you're running out of gear and you got a downshift. That's how it acts. It acts like it's running out of gear. And then it'll slam down into the next gear. But if you feed her all the fucking onions, buddy, and you're going up the fucking road, that son of a bitch, it'll dig fucking deep. It'll shoot clear down into goddamn low one on your fucking ass while you're going like fucking 45 miles an hour or 35. And it'll put you back in the fucking seat and fucking tear ass and shift into the next fucking gear. And then, back up into drive, and then it'll hit that high gear again. And that high gear, you got to watch. It just kicks in before you're ready for it, and then you got to kick her down a little bit in passing gear. But yeah. But it's like when you get on the interstate, that goes away. Plus, I unplugged all that shit. I unplugged everything for the fucking lockup converter, because that's all by wire stuff. There's a module in the dash, under the dash. I unplugged it. I unplugged everything out front. Linked up to the distributor too. It would advance your timing. And it's like, well, it's advancing. It's got a fucking mechanical advance inside. This one had a vacuum advance. I'm like, why do you need a vacuum advance and an electronic advance? What the fuck? Electronic spark control shit. I unplugged all that stuff too. Because it just wasn't working its full potential anyway. And it's just a bunch of shit that they didn't have to put on that truck. I mean, they did it because, government standard, because the government's got to have their hands in every fucking thing. Telling you, hey, you got to do this. You got to do emissions and fuck you. Anyway, everybody, I'll show you what I got for Christmas. I didn't ask for a lot. Let me show you what I got here before I let you know on the second gift. Okay. Got all these tin signs. This is what I asked for because we drew names this year. Got these tin signs. Of course, I got that same Chevy sign up there. But that's fine. I mean, I don't care. It's awesome. And the way they talked, some of them didn't come, so they're waiting on the rest of them. But this one I had, and this one that says Driven by Freedom, I've had that one. It almost made it onto the floorboards of the square body, but I didn't let it in there. So anyway, this one and this one, I really like that mobile. That is awesome. That is fucking cool as shit. But anyway, there they are. And now I'm going to have to sit down to tell you about this next gift that I was given. As we drew names, my sister got my name, and I got my nephew's name. I got him a crock pot because that's what he wanted. Because nothing says awesome than a crock pot. But anyhow, I'm going to tell you right now, this other gift, everybody hollered and laughed when I opened it the fuck up. It's a fucking blow-up doll. Fucking bullshit. I was like, you're fucking kidding me, right? She goes, no. She goes, you're always complaining about never getting laid. Well, here you go. And the next gift was a bottle of KY jelly. Yeah. Holy fucking shit. I'm like, you're fucking shitting me, right? Yeah, it's something else. I'm going to unbox the girl and blow her up and probably take it to work with me and sit it in the trainer's seat in my rock truck. That's probably what I'm going to do with it. Yeah. That's... I couldn't believe my fucking eyes. And then I thought, well, that's how my family is, man. We're a bunch of fucking jokers. So yeah, I'm not disappointed. It took me by surprise. So I didn't think that she was going to give me something like that. And then when I seen it, I was like, oh man, that is fucking hilarious. That's awesome. But yeah, fucking blow up doll. Yep. My wife told me, well, I guess you'll be using that, won't you? It's like, well, no. Why would I use that? I mean, really? Oh, I'd say some shit, but I'm not going to say anything. Just in case she would happen to see this, I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Better off that way. But you all can guess what I'm thinking, though, you know. Now we're not going to be trying this out, and the instructions on the fucking blow up doll said on the box that they recommend you use a condom while using this to keep all that mess out of there, keep the semen out of it, so it isn't so hard to clean up. The lengths that fucking perverts go. I mean, well, I don't really blame them, but there's no way. Shit. But anyway, I mean, I can see where these people would use a blow-up doll because, you know, women just don't like to have sex. That's about the size of it, you know, and they're dictating now where, you know, 3/4 of the female population doesn't want to have any sexual relations with you unless you have lots of money and you're about 6 feet tall or more. So, yeah. And all these older women now, like my age group, they're finding out that this isn't the life that they wanted, so they're just going to go ahead now and, cut their guys off. And then they wonder why it's not working out for them. But anyway, that's a little off the path here that I want to take. But that's the reason why a man would buy a blow-up doll. Is, you're just further ahead to fucking spank it yourself instead of buying something ridiculous like that. And it's like in Japan, they make these life-size, these life-sized adult dolls with like silicone rubbery skin, and they have whatever size titties you want them to have, and they have, they're anatomically correct. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy the fucking shit they come up with. They even have jerk-off machines now. I see them on Facebook. There's a company that makes these machines that they lube up and everything. I could use pour lube in them. There's even a thing on there to hold your phone so you can watch a porn while you're fucking letting this thing stroke you. Crazy shit. But anyhow, I need to make a run to Oakland. My son has some kind of shit going on. He has to go to court for something, I guess. I don't know. I forget. I'm so forgetful, and I didn't think he wanted to go up there because now he forgot where he needs to park because of Garrett County Courthouse. There's no parking. So why not? Why, hey, we have a courthouse here in the middle of town. No fucking parking. Go fuck yourself. And he was going to park in one of the church parking lots up there next to it. No. Don't you fucking do that. They will tow your fucking ass. They will tow you at your expense. And then you'll have to go up there and aggravate with those cocksuckers to get your fucking car back, wherever the fuck they tow it to. And, because I don't think the state police don't have a towing impound thing here, I don't think. I don't know, I've never had one towed by the state police, so I couldn't tell you. I've only had one towed away from an accident. But they will tow it at owner's expense, and I would imagine whatever towing company takes it, you would have to go to their place to get it. And you'd probably have to get some kind of fucking release and pay the goddamn cops money and then pay that towing company a bunch of fucking money. And, it's a rigmarole of fucking bullshit. So, but anyway, everybody, the square body is gone. We're probably not going to get another one. At least I don't think I am. I don't know. I really like this truck. I've always liked these better, these 67 to 72 Chevy trucks. So we're going to go ahead and run with that. And I'm going to put my money into this and the Chevelle. And I want to get another Panther car. I do have 3 people hounding me about the LTD. They want to buy it. And whoever can get here with whatever money I agreed to with whichever person, whoever gets here first gets the fucking thing. I don't want to hold it for anybody, really. If they give me some money, I'll be forced to hold it. But I'm not going to, let them have it, and they're not going to make payments to me, because that's horseshit. Because people are unreliable. So, anyway, everybody, have a good weekend. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the fucking next one.